So welcome to this guide. I've been playing this game for quite some time. I'm pretty decent at FPSs, so this is going to be a super good guide on how you can play this game. So one of the things you need to understand is that when you play this game, you have three main game modes. You've got quick play, free for all, or 2v2. Now, free for all is, of course, everyone for themselves. You basically just try and kill everyone. 2v2 is basically small duos in small arenas, and quick play is basically large scale TDM. For me, getting kills for a beginner, I think quick play, where you're going to be thrust into TDM, is by far the best game mode because you don't know the maps yet, and it's easy to run with the team and see where the enemies are when they're on the other side of the map. So for me, go into quick play. Now, with the loadouts, I would say don't change your loadouts once you're new to the game because you haven't unlocked anything. Just hop straight into quick play. Now, if your internet is a bit slow, the maps may take longer for you to download, so just bear that in mind. You do want to play this on a decent internet. Now, when you're playing the game, understand that if you press the L shift, you can run, and that is going to be the basis of your movement. If you do press the left control, you'll be able to crouch. And if you do press the C button, you'll also be able to crouch. So it's completely up to you. Now, if you want to move all the way down in terms of your movement, you just hold the Z button and you're going to be completely prone. But just remember, you will move a lot slower, okay? And if you want to get up, you just either press the Z button again or just press the space. So that is basically movement. Now, another piece of movement tech that's in this game that I didn't even realize was in this game until I saw some of my teammates do it is that you can actually slide in this game. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can do that. So, you know, of course you can do it with an AR, but I'm going to do it with a pistol to show you guys here. So if you're running, you can just press C and then you can slide and then you can move around. So this isn't really that good for movement. I think this is something that's more like better in terms of like if you're trying to dodge an enemy. So just run and then press C and then you're able to slide on the ground. So it's an interesting piece of movement. It doesn't really work that well with assault rifles, but I think if you're running and gunning, and you know, shotguns aren't in the game at the moment. So when they do add shotguns, that is going to be something that is really cool. So I think that is, you know, a piece of movement tech that, you know, if you're in a close quarters combat, someone's shooting at you, you need to slide and get out of the way, run, press C, and then you'll be able to move. Now, of course, it could be different on your device. So do check what it is on your device, like go into the settings and check the keybinds. But yeah, it could be something that is super useful for you. If you want to learn how the throwables work, if you want to throw your flashbang, you literally just press T and then it's just thrown immediately. So there's no wind up or anything like that. Likewise for your grenades, you can hold them if you want, but then you can release them. So it's completely up to you if you want to either hold them or not. So I would say if you want to hold your item, hold the T button and then release. Or if you just want to do a quick release, just tap T in the direction, okay? So just hold it and then release just like that, okay? Now, in terms of the weapons, I'm going to go through the weapons starting with assault rifles. So they don't have that many weapons in the game to start off with. They do give you a base M4 when you start the game, and it is pretty decent, but the only thing wrong with it is I would say the fire rate is a bit too rapid. So you probably aren't going to do that well with a base M4 when it, you know, it's just the first one that you get. Now, the thing that you ideally want to do is when you have your base M4 and you're running around and getting kills, the way that you get kills is by aiming in and of course, you know, firing like you would any other FPS game. And I got to be honest, guys, this game is definitely reminiscent of Modern Warfare 2019. It is very good in terms of the gunplay and just the overall, you know, gaming experience. But one thing that I do realize is that it is, you know, pretty hard to get used to in terms of getting kills. And when you die, just press space so that you can spawn back quickly if you don't want to watch the kill cam. So you can see here, I'm with the base level M4, and this is going to be what you use when you start with the game. Now, what you do start with the game is you start with a basic assault rifle, and I would recommend any beginner, when you're starting in this game, what you should do is you should make sure that you upgrade your weapon to a red dot sight, because that's going to tremendously help you with whatever weapon that you have. So the base M4 that you start with, you're going to have to use this weapon for a few, you know, kills. You're probably gonna have to get 10, 20 kills with it before you can upgrade to get the red dot sight, which is by far one of the most useful attachments. Before that, you're probably gonna struggle a lot because the red dot sight is just super useful. So I would say once you're running around and once you're getting a bit of few kills, you can then upgrade to your red dot sight. So for me, that is what I chose to do because it just allowed me to aim a lot better and allowed, you know, the gunplay to be a lot better. Now, once you do upgrade, if you're wondering, okay, but how do I change my classes, all my guns and all that stuff, all you want to do is you press the backspace button and then you go to select loadout. Then what you want to do is you want to just edit it, just click the edit button. Then you basically just click the actual gun. Then you go onto the muzzle and then you go onto the optic, and then this is where you'll see the first optic. So by default, it'll be on iron sights. So just click the reflex sight, and then just go back, and then you can edit out of that. If you do have any, other grips, most of these unlock at pretty high levels. All of these grips and stuff, they unlock at pretty high levels, although I do have the 4 grip there, so I can equip that. So as you unlock things, just click on the actual gun right there, and then you'll be able to change any of these. Of course, customization, camos and stuff like that, they just don't have any of that stuff yet. And of course, if you want to go back to the game, it is just, left control. So the left control button, or whatever device you're on, it will tell you in the bottom left-hand corner. So that's going to be how you get out. Now, in terms of the kill streaks, you do have a very basic kill streak. So I think the only, kill streak that they have in the game at the moment is the UAV, which is of course super useful. So if you want to call that in, you just press the button 3, and you can see it just automatically calls the UAV in. There's no like actual kill streak animation. You just call in the UAV, and then it's in the sky. And you can see right now my map is loading up, and that is what it looks like. So that is it for the assault rifles. For SMGs, I will show you guys how it's basically the same, but I will show you guys SMGs are a little bit more trickier in the sense that they have a higher fire rate, and because the game, just the recoil is a bit hard to understand, I would say that the fire rate is a little bit tricky. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the next SMG, which is the UMP45. So if you want to just select your loadout and change your class, press the backspace button, then click that, and then that will be the loadout that you spawn in with. So I'm going to press space, and now I've got my UMP45. So I just press the backspace button. And like I said, if you don't know which one it is, just check what it says on your device, okay? So you can see here, I've got the UMP45. And I would say the UMP45 is one of those guns that is, it's a pretty good gun. It's been pretty good in every Call of Duty, but the problem is that the recoil is just not that. I mean, I did get a kill just there, but the recoil is pretty heavy. And so you do struggle a little bit with it. Of course, like I said before, when you start out in this game, the only problem is that you don't have any, default sights. So you don't have any recoil, not recoil, some recon sights, which are, red dot sights. You don't have any holographic sights, and you'll see that most people killing you, they do have those. So I would say that one of the most important things is just, playing and unlocking that. And the UMP45 is one of the only SMGs in the game. I know that the game is probably in beta right now, so they probably will get a lot more SMGs and stuff. But so far, what they do have is pretty incredible and amazing. Now, let's move on to our third class of weapons, which I use pretty often. And I will show you guys exactly what that class of weapon is. So let's go on to the next class of weapons, which is the sniper. So if I back to my loadout and I go to the sniper, I'll show you guys exactly how crazy this loadout is. So there's a guy right here with a sniper, funnily enough. And another thing as well, guys, a quick tip, is that you can't actually pick up weapons, okay? So in the game currently, you can't pick up weapons. I'm not sure what that is just yet, but I'm guessing it must be a design choice. So now snipers, you do have this sniper that you have. I think it's the M300. This sniper is by far the best sniper in the game. And I say that because it's literally like the only sniper in the game. And something that you can see is that in this game, they do have the ability to highlight enemies red, which is super, super useful. So when you're aiming down sights, if you see someone in red, just know that that is not your teammate. Now, the reason I say that this sniper is so good is because this sniper is a one-shot, at least above the legs. So if you aim above the legs and you get a kill, this sniper is going to be doing a lot of damage. Now, it's not easy to aim by any means necessary. Most, snipers, I would say, if you're going to be sniping with this, probably get a high vantage point and then try to go from there, or probably like try and look at the spawn, or at least look at the map to see if you can, see where they're going to be, because you can't really be getting into a gunfight with these snipers, because the snipers are like, they're good. They're very good, but just the way how the game is, you're probably not going to get that many kills because people are going to be able to see you coming and then they're going to be able to destroy you. So yeah, the sniper, I think it's pretty hard to quick scope. I mean, I probably will have some clips on the screen of me quick scoping, but I would say that's only because I've got a few, years quick scoping and stuff like that in Call of Duty. So I would say that sniping is, it is very satisfying in this game. I got to be honest with you. Like, it is satisfying. You're able to get kills, but I would say that your aim does have to be pretty good because people are running around. And so the only way that you can really snipe in this game is from, like long range. That's probably going to be your best bet, because at close range, you do have a significant disadvantage just because of how the game is at the current moment. So for me, sniping at long range is your best bet, and that's how you're going to get most of the kills. So as well, with the sniper class, what you of course want to do is make sure that you have a good secondary, because a good secondary is going to be super, super useful in terms of having the ability to save you from certain, bad edge cases. So if you're sniping and you see close range that an enemy is there and they're going to, be a bit of trouble, you can switch to your secondary, and of course you can try and finish them off. The pistol is not bad in this game at all. I would say it's actually probably a bit underrated. But if you're sniping and you're trying to get a few kills, definitely use the pistol because it is super useful if you're struggling with that. So of course that is of course the pistol class, and there is I think one more class which is the Marksman class. But just I mean it's an okay class, but don't bother with the Marksman class because that gun, I mean it's okay, but it's not really fun to use. I mean it's high damage. It is I think like the M14 from Call of Duty. So yeah, the Marksman class, you can see right here, you can do a lot of damage with it and you can do some long range damage with it. The only problem is that it's semi-automatic, meaning that you're going to have to click for every bullet that you want to come out the chamber. So it's quite like a pistol, but the only difference is that it does deal a decent amount of damage, okay? So if that's something that interests you, maybe in previous games, maybe that's something that's intrigued you, it's completely up to you if you do want to, play with the Marksman rifle. For me, it just doesn't seem that fun considering the play style of this game. But of course, if you are someone that likes to play a little bit slower, it is completely up to you with how you choose to play the game. But for a beginner, I just wouldn't recommend this gun because even in traditional FPS games, it's just, it's just a real struggle to use. So yeah, in terms of the map design as well, I think map design in this game is very, very solid. I'm not sure how they've designed maps this well. Like genuinely, it feels like I'm playing a Call of Duty game, and that's no exaggeration. The maps are designed pretty well. Like there's no like, super campy spots that people just use that are overpowered. The game is designed pretty well. You can play it either, fast paced, you can play it like slow paced. It really is up to you. And I would say that like this game, it does play exceptionally well. In terms of the overall map design. So you've got like a motel, you've got another one that's a house. I think maybe you've got another one that's like a courtyard. I mean, so far, I've had no fault designs of the maps. There haven't been any glitches. Everything's been designed really well. The lighting, the colors, everything does look pretty well. It does play like a AAA game. So overall, I think this is a, possible replacement for those of you who are maybe, looking for a new FPS game. I only tried this because it was in beta and a few friends did say, that I could potentially enjoy this. So for me to you, the VR Compass, I mean, this has been, definitely a really solid game. If you have any trouble with this game, of course, remember that you can see your health on the bottom left as well. So if you are wondering how quickly that is. And in terms of the gameplay of the health meter, one thing that I do like is the fact that the health is, quickly to auto regen. So you see right here, I'm on 23 HP, and then it only takes a few seconds for me to start regenerating back to full HP. So that is another super useful feature because it means that you can get straight back into the game without having to wait a really long time. So that is something that is super, super smooth. Now, my only tip in terms of actual, real gameplay is that maybe just try and control your recoil and maybe just, take the game a little bit slow because the gameplay can be super fast, but the weapons don't kill that quickly, meaning that you can't rush as, as quickly as you would be able to in other games. So don't rush around too much. Still do take it at a steady pace. Like I'm not advising to camp because camping doesn't really work in this game. The game does seem to be like a run and gun, but the guns don't kill that quickly. So I would say that if you're trying to play this game, of course, pace yourself a bit. I would say like it's medium pace because the guns do take a bit of time to kill, and that time to kill is also good. So like I said, it's one of those games where, you have to factor that in. Now, another tip that I would say as well, most of the guns have pretty, significant recoil. So you will struggle to get kills if you can't pull your mouse down or your cursor down or whatever device you're using, your L stick or whatever, your controller. If you, can't master that, that is something that, you quickly get used to. So the recoil is a bit significant. Maybe it's because I don't have the grip, but at the starter rounds, when you're beginning, the recoil is going to be, pretty significant, not crazily significant, but enough to where you realize that like if you don't pull it down a little bit, you're going to struggle in certain gunfights and you're probably going to lose some gunfights. Now as well, after every game, make sure you click space to continue and see if there are any pop-ups in terms of, weapon upgrades. But yeah, so far, like I said, if you guys have enjoyed this video, it's been the VR Compass, and I will see you guys in the next one because this is a solid game and hopefully they have more weapons.